Welcome to the Sunday School Reading Channel. If this reading is a blessing to you, please like, share, and subscribe. Our reading for November 26, 2023 is entitled Liberty, Not License. The devotional reading comes from James chapter 1, verses 19 through 27. The background scriptures come from 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and chapter 10, verses 23 through chapter 11, verse 1. Print passages come from 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 23 through 33, and chapter 11, verse 1. The adult key verse comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23b. The devotional reading, James chapter 1, verse 19, reads as follows. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Verse 20. Because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Verse 21. Therefore, get rid of all moral filth and the evil that is so prevalent, and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save you. Verse 22. Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Verse 23. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror. Verse 24. And, after looking at himself, goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. Verse 25. But whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard, but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do. Verse 26. Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. Verse 27. Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 1 reads as follows. Now about food sacrificed to idols, we know that we all possess knowledge, but knowledge puffs up while love builds up. Verse 2. Those who think they know something do not yet know as they ought to know. Verse 3. But whoever loves God is known by God. Verse 4. So then, about eating food sacrificed to idols, we know that an idol is nothing at all in the world, and that there is no God but one. Verse 5. But even if there are so-called gods, whether in heaven or on earth, as indeed there are many gods and many lords. Verse 6. Yet for us there is but one God, the Father, from whom all things came and for whom we live. And there is but one Lord, Jesus Christ, through whom all things came and through whom we live. Verse 7. But not everyone possesses this knowledge. Some people are still so accustomed to idols that when they eat sacrificial food, they think of it as having been sacrificed to a god. And since their conscience is weak, it is defiled. Verse 8. But food does not bring us near to God. We are no worse if we do not eat, and no better if we do. Verse 9. Be careful, however, that the exercise of your rights does not become a stumbling block to the weak. Verse 10. If someone with a weak conscience sees you, with all your knowledge, eating in an idol's temple, won't that person be emboldened to eat what is sacrificed to idols? Verse 11. So this weak brother or sister, for whom Christ died, is destroyed by your knowledge. Verse 12. When you sin against them in this way and wound their weak conscience, you sin against Christ. Verse 13. Therefore, if what I eat causes my brother or sister to fall into sin, I will never eat meat again, so that I will not cause them to fall. Background scriptures continue. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23 reads as follows. I have the right to do anything, you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but not everything is constructive. Verse 24. No one should seek their own good, but the good of others. Verse 25. Eat anything sold in the meat market without raising questions of conscience. Verse 26. For the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. Verse 27. If an unbeliever invites you to a meal and you want to go, eat whatever is put before you without raising questions of conscience. Verse 28. But if someone says to you, this has been offered in sacrifice, then do not eat it, both for the sake of the one who told you and for the sake of conscience. Verse 29. I'm referring to the other person's conscience, not yours. For why is my freedom being judged by another's conscience? Verse 30. If I take part in the meal with thankfulness, why am I denounced because of something I thank God for? Verse 31. So whether you eat or drink, or whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. Verse 32. Do not cause anyone to stumble, whether Jews, Greeks, or the church of God. Verse 33. Even as I try to please everyone in every way, for I am not seeking my own good, but the good of many, so that they may be saved. Chapter 11, verse 1. Follow my example as I follow the example of Christ. This concludes our reading. Please join with me as we recite Psalms 1. Blessed is a man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Thank you for listening. If this reading has been a blessing to you, please like, share, and subscribe.